It's my job as state auditor to hold all levels of government accountable for how they spend taxpayer money and how decisions are made on the public's behalf. And I'm proud of the results that we've had over the last several years. Because of my audits, more than $300 million in government waste and abuses have been identified. And because of my audits, more than 35 criminal counts have been brought against corrupt public officials in this state. Again, it is my job to hold government at all levels accountable for how they make decisions on behalf of taxpayers.
Now, you're facing a challenge from a Republican candidate. Sandra McDaniel is her name. And she has said that, you're a liberal politician. She's been trying to paint you in a light that Republicans seem to use a lot. Do you think that's a fair assessment?
I am an independent watchdog, standing with taxpayers. I audit Democrats and Republicans alike. I am tough and I am fair and I am thorough because that's what I think people expect. I have been critical of members of both parties when they have made decisions that have not benefited the people that they're supposed to be representing. Even Democrats have been kicked out of office and recommended to be criminally prosecuted because of my audits. And so, again, I think I stand on the side of taxpayers. That is my number one priority.
Okay, so you say you're a moderate, you stand in the middle, you will do what you believe is right no matter what. So you think that these attacks saying that you're too far to the left are unfair. So what do you plan to do going forward? If you are reelected, what would your plan be? Would you just carry on as usual, or would we see more from you?
Sure. There's lots of things that I would still like to accomplish. We have been fortunate in working with the legislature in a bipartisan way, passing 8 pieces of legislation to make government work better for people. And there's one piece of legislation in particular that I want to see across the finish line. We worked in a bipartisan way to address public corruption. When there's known instances of public corruption at the local level, sometimes there's some red tape not allowing us to work with local law enforcement to address those issues. This legislation also strengthens the penalties when public corruption is committed. And the legislature passed it in a bipartisan way. Unfortunately, Governor Greitens vetoed it. And I want to go back to the legislature and pass this piece of legislation again.
Now, if you were to not be reelected, do you have reason to believe that legislation would not be tackled and that you're the only person who could take it over the finish line?
I mean, we were the ones that promoted the legislation, worked on the legislation. We did have the support of the prosecutors across the state. Mm-hmm. We were the driving force and partnered with others for this legislation. It's a good piece, and it does the right thing. When people steal money, they should be held accountable for that. There should be a way to recapture the money that is stolen. And if law enforcement at the local level knows that there's public corruption happening and they do not have accountants or forensic auditors at the local level that can help and assist in those investigations, they should be able to call upon our office to assist in that. And so I strongly support this. This is good and common sense for the people in Missouri. Mm-hmm.
So you want to take that piece of legislation across the finish line. What else do you want voters to know about you before they head to the polls here in less than 2 weeks?
I want to continue to serve as state auditor to fight the secrecy and corruption in government. I am a CPA and a certified fraud examiner. People work hard for what they have. They work hard to provide an opportunity for themselves and for their families. And when you see government misusing people's hard-earned resources, I understand why people get so angry and frustrated. And I want to continue to hold government accountable for those actions. We have proven results over and over again. And I just strongly believe that voters need an independent watchdog in the auditor's office.